The next item here is the withdrawal from the Paris Climate Treaty.
That was the moment President Trump withdrew the U.S. from the Paris Climate Agreement, a worldwide pact that aims to fight global warming. The United States formally entered the Paris Agreement during the Obama administration in 2016. President Trump withdrew from it during his first term. President Biden rejoined it in 2021. The only other nations not part of the deal are Iran, Libya, and Yemen. In a statement, the United Nations Climate Change Executive Secretary said, quote, "Embracing the global clean energy boom will mean massive profits, millions of manufacturing jobs, and clean air. Ignoring it only sends all that vast wealth to competitor economies, while climate disasters like droughts, wildfires, and superstorms keep getting worse." CBS News national environmental correspondent David Schechter joins us now. David, what's the practical impact of President Trump withdrawing from the Paris Climate Agreement?
Hey, Lindsay. Well, I think on the front end here, this was expected. Trump had telegraphed that this was coming and the world was ready for it. But as we've discussed, you know, the Paris Climate Agreement brings together all the nations of the world, basically now, except for the United States and some other small ones, to work on the problems of climate change and to come up with solutions. And over the last 4 years, the U.S. has been a leading voice there. The Biden administration has been really into pushing forward in that space. Now there will be a void. Likely to fill the void are the Chinese, who have really staked their economy. 40% of their GDP is based on a green economy. So they're really interested in making money, as we heard in that quote that you just shared, in making money on climate change. And so now to vacate the space allows them to have a much larger voice and dictate some of how the world will continue to respond, probably more favorably to China.
President Trump declared a national energy crisis. What does that mean?
That's a good question. It doesn't really have a definition, and it's interesting because the United States is now making more oil and gas than it ever has, more renewable energy than it ever has. So seemingly there is a pretty large supply of energy here. But what this executive order allows him to do is to try to waive regulations and fast track fossil fuel projects that are coming through the pipeline, and doing that by telling the EPA or telling the Department of Energy, the Department of Interior, to move these things forward. So it's really telegraphing. It's a strong signal to his own administration to waive regulations and move forward. I spoke earlier today with Dr. Michael Gerard. He's an environmental lawyer at Columbia University, to put a little more context around some of these executive orders.
The principal thing we need to do to fight climate change is to reduce both the supply of and the demand for fossil fuels. These orders try to maximize both the supply and the demand for fossil fuels, and are going in exactly the opposite direction from where we need to go to fight climate change. The U.S.
Supply here means, of course, what we were talking about, drilling for more oil, and that's important to the Trump administration. But demand is also an important piece here. Some of these executive orders are designed to eliminate or reduce some of these tighter fuel economy standards that have come in during the Biden administration, which would make cars more fuel efficient. So he wants to get rid of that, so you'd use more gasoline there. And those were also designed to get people to buy more electric cars. Fewer electric car sales would also mean more use of fossil fuels. So supply and demand, really an important piece of what the Trump idea here.
All right. David Schechter, thank you.